Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality. Hello and welcome to Cymatic TV. You're with Tom Lawless and this is your midweek energy update. And what a beginning part of the week it's been. What a weekend. How did it go for everybody out there? I hope fine and dandy. We will be going into, at the end of this video, and don't forget, stay tuned to watch it, how all of this energy sort of is affecting us. I'll be giving points of view on myself, but also what I've noticed from the people that are around me. So without further ado, let's get straight into it, because it's been solar cycle 25 is finally here. It really is kicking off and giving us that lovely juicy energy. So what's been happening this week, as we can see here from the last couple of days, on the left hand side of the sun, if you've been paying attention, you would have noticed it. It has been the #1 used item. This sunspot, which is just out of view from facing Earth, you can see the size of the sun just round it there. Look at the size of this thing. It was massive. It was recorded as an M.4, but if the satellite had been facing the solar eruption, it would have definitely been an X-flare. There's no doubt about it. And there was quite a lot of activity that was rippling around it. But as per usual, it's doing it away from the Earth. So we got a little bit of the vibration, but we got a lot of the awkwardness, which will be going into the end of the show. And you realise what happened to you yesterday, Tuesday. Did you have a good day? Was it a bit out of timing, bit out of sorts, everything like that? And were you talking good? Let's have a look at that a little bit later on. Let's just see how that's sort of affected throughout the solar system. Now, this is another view. You can see the Earth there in the middle. It is like literally a pinprick. And then you can see this solar blast or this solar flare that comes out of the size. We're talking thousands and thousands and thousands of times the size of the Earth. A huge explosion. And we haven't seen one of these in 4 or 5 years. Real good explosion. Real good vibration coming out into the solar system. And it's affecting the other planets, which, if you pay anything to pay any sort of thing to astrology and stuff like that, you might well know that the planets do have an effect on you. And this is what we want to go into. This is live astrology. This is what's going on in our lives. So forget about the mainstream media. They are not working within your interest. Stop listening to them. If you really want to know what's going inside you and what's going inside the collective, you should really start paying to the environment that is around you. And when I talk about the environment, I'm not just talking about the Earth. I'm also talking about the solar system, the planets, everything. This is a renaissance period that we're coming into. And we should be having our heads fully up and looking straight down the barrel of the gun and enjoying every last little bit of it. This is what we call the end-wall spiral, and as you can see here, we have the Earth here. Here we have Mars, which is just out of here, and we have Mercury and Venus, which is just there. And you can see this blast that came out, took it, hit a few of the satellites and went further out into the solar system. But one thing to keep an eye on is, if you can see this arm here, as the beginning of the blast, as it coming towards the Earth, it sort of gets cut off and then it sort of comes back with a swipe on us. So this is one thing we're going to be looking at and see how that's affecting us a little bit later on in the show. Let's just see how it's been affecting the Earth. As I said last Friday in the Energy News, if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. I said that, the vibrations are going to be moving towards a new rhythm that's going to be coming out, and that rhythm is going to be including the throat and third eye chakra, and lo and behold, this is what we've been having. And it's been coming in spits and spurts this week, but it might have helped you to realise it's easier to talk about things. So on the Saturday, we had a build-up of energies, mainly on the Alaskan Ridge, and that was really forcing down onto the throat and third eye chakra, and there was obviously some going on in the plexus solar. So there's a lot of intention, a lot of need, a lot of want to come out, to speak about things, to make things clear and everything like that. As we go on to the 29th, here we can see it starting leaking into the third eye and the throat chakra again. There's still a little bit of a build up on the Alaskan ridge, but mainly around the plexus solis. And this is this need to start speaking, to start communicating, and start with your neighbors, start with your community, start with the people that are around you, start getting to know them, because this is the building of the future. It is not happening on the TV. Okay, it's not happening on mainstream media. What is happening is people starting to come together. Even if they're asking us to wear masks and stuff like that, we can still speak to each other, and it is good to communicate, because that's the last thing that the controlling elite, as it were, think that they should allow us to do to stop us communicating with each other. This is a renaissance, as I was telling you, and we really do need to get into that. So the Sunday, is this Sunday? Yes, Sunday, sorry. So Sunday, here we are again. The Alaskan ridge has been broken. The energy is coming down onto the throat chakra. The crown chakra is relating to the root chakra, because they are the same chakras. So it's really putting everything into alignment. Should have been putting things really clear in your head of what you're supposed to be saying. This is the overall ambient vibration that's been sort of saying to you. Sorry about that. So this is the energy that's been sort of saying to you. It's been aligning your root and your crown chakras, because they are the same chakra, and allowing you to speak clearly. So on Tuesday, this Alaskan ridge hitting in again. We're getting a little bit of a reset that's going on as well. So it's a short rhythm, but it should have got out. So you should have been able to express yourself. A little bit round to the sacrum as well, but that was the main thing, the Alaskan ridge breaking and the reset, really. And as we've come through to today, we're getting a little bit on the root, but then you've got the third eye and the throat chakra coming back in, and a little bit on the sacrum. But yesterday, one thing I did forget to say, the huge or the big earthquakes that were coming through were allowing that vibration to come through for people to actually converse and speak. If you hadn't done it on Sunday, Tuesday was another opportunity before the reset was happening. Okay, so how is it affecting us as humans? Wow. It affects us in multitudes of ways, because we are a multitude of different types of people. No one is the same. Everyone is individual. But we all rely on this same vibration. And this vibration here is our foundations. It's what you grow your seed of your life in. And it's important to understand the flows as it comes through the system. And if you can understand it, then you can take out the little glitches that may be affecting you, which would take you off your path. If you're very conscious about it, if you meditate about it, all of a sudden you're going to start realizing that there's a lot more that you can do. We are not powerless in this situation. Okay? So let's just go through a few aspects of it and see how that's been affecting us. Let's talk about that solar flash. Solar flash. Sorry, guys. Solar flare. I'm working on a video about this solar flash, because some people have been speaking about it, and I wanted to do some clarification on it. But this is about the solar flare, that M4 solar flare that came through. You can see it swishing off here, and as I said earlier, it broke this arm of vibration. This the sun, if you like, has north and south pole, but it also has poles around it. So you have negative and positive flows. That doesn't necessarily mean bad and good. Take that out your thinking. Yeah, it just has negative and positive orientated vibrations. And what it does is you can actually see here, this bar here, it clips it. And so as it comes through to the earth, it breaks down the energy of the surrounding environment, which is exactly what happened in this section here, which was yesterday. So yesterday we had a collapsing of the magnetic field of the Earth, or it sort of calmed down, as it were. I wouldn't want to say collapses, as it were. We are now on the second. I would expect by the end of the day, these green bars hitting the higher echelons, maybe even touching a little bit of yellow, getting a little bit of a storm going on, because this bar will be coming back very strongly afterwards and giving us a bit of a slap, as you can well see there. Yeah. But yesterday, what you might have found is that you were starting to move along, talking, getting things sorted out, getting things organized, and it was like you were walking on really nice solid ground. And then Tuesday turned up and we hit the quagmire, and all of a sudden it was a little bit kind of like out of sorts, or that's one of the phrases that keep coming back. Another one is out of timing. That your life is a little bit out of timing with the rest of the world, and that's simply because of that flare that kicked off, that reduced that vibration around us, that created a bit of a void below us in our way of vibration. So our vibration actually extended further out into the earth and up above. Therefore, it would knock us out of that rhythm that was coming through. I didn't put out a health alert, although it was down all day, simply because I knew exactly what was going on with this solar flare, and I could understand that was actually kind of come down the line on the 1st and the 2nd of December, which was yesterday. So if you've had a day yesterday, Tuesday, as I said, you might have well wanted to talk, communicate and stuff like that, but you might as well also had a day where you were missing the connection slightly, feeling out of sorts, a little bit sort of dazed, as it were. Not dazed and confused, but just generally dazed a little bit. So that sort of thing could have been coming through in society. You might have seen this within the political world, within the social media and stuff like that. That people were a little bit out of timing and stuff like that. That you would have had a few gaffes in the political world, in public figures. I don't pay attention to all of that, so you'll have to tell me. If you know, put the comments down in the section below, and we will go through it and we will discuss about it in the sections below, in the comments below. I personally don't watch news. I don't really pay attention to political interventions and stuff like that, because I'm not like that. I don't think it's helping us. I don't think it's very constructive. We need to construct something completely different. This is this whole Renaissance thing that's coming out at the moment, and the energies around us, the energies of the sun, the energies of the earth, are trying to encourage that within the humans. Let yourself go. Let yourself bathe in that vibration. Allow it to bring you on, bring you forward. Start opening up to your community. Start building something completely different that has nothing to do with organized crime, organized political, well, it could be crime as well, couldn't it really? Organized political systems and stuff like that, because they are not working within your interest. Be very clear about that. The more that this sun picks up, the more they're going to have difficulty imposing laws and regulations that are completely illogical, that have no sense whatsoever. And I think everybody understands that, regardless of what is going on with some sort of weird viruses and stuff like that, which is no more than a flu, really, let's be honest. Okay, it's a bit of a violent one, and people die. What do you think? You think you're going to live forever? Oh, wake up, smell the hummus, as it were. We're all here for a short period of time. It depends on what you do during that period which you're here. So, get involved. Get involved in your communities. Get involved in your neighbours. Speak to them, even if it's just chatting over the fence with a cup of tea. Absolutely brilliant. I know it's cold out there. That's probably why you should take a cup of tea with you, right? I have been talking about this in, this is another effect, and we're going to look at this now. I was talking about this in the sort of update I did 2 weeks ago on the news, about how this alignment of Saturn and Jupiter was coming into play, and how the sun was actually sort of setting up against it, because you have Jupiter and Saturn that is like that, very strong, magnetically charged bodies within the solar system, and then you've got the sun like that, and it was creating a bit of a power struggle between the two. And I said the sun was stamping its authority on this power struggle, and boy did it stamp it the other day. Absolutely blasted in their direction. As we can see here, I've overlaid that video from before. You can see down here Jupiter and Saturn. Here is the Earth. Here is the Earth on that planetary map. Here is the Earth on that end-wall spiral, and this blast that's coming out is just going to whop Saturn and Jupiter. So for you, all you astrologers out there, if you're talking about the influences of Jupiter, Saturn, and also Pluto, because Pluto is much further away, but it's also within this alignment, it's not going to be touched for a long time, and I wouldn't have thought this vibration is going to really be affecting Jupiter and Saturn for at least another 2 days, I would have thought. So in 2 days, anything concerned with Jupiter and Saturn, so Jupiter, it's a bit like sort of having those thoughts that are very Aryan, that is actually very clear about sort of mechanical stuff of getting things sorted, and Saturn's a bit of a putting things into action. At the beginning, this Thursday, this Friday, Saturday, this is what you might feel like. So you're going to feel like, I've got to get stuff done, I've got to move on and everything like that. And you want to get stuff done, and then you'll get that feeling on the Sunday when the vibration, when that solar flare really hits it, where it just takes all the wind out your sails in that respect. So prepare for it. If you know this is coming in, sort of, judge yourself as it, pace yourself in how you put it into your vibrations this weekend coming up. We obviously will be looking this more into the energy update on Friday, but at the moment, so just understand that that's coming up. So it may, at the beginning, maybe on Friday, Saturday, have really sort of compressed thoughts within you and wanting to actually get on and do things and stuff like that. And then Sunday and Monday come around where that'll actually, it won't be so urgent anymore, and you're wondering why you made such a fuss and stuff like that. So basically calm down, meditate your way through it, pick out the cherries of this situation so you can actually be really productive in the future. This should be an active thing, and it certainly is active within our Astro Flowers system that I'm setting up at the moment, which will be coming out in the new year. So as this vibration goes out, and then in, let's say in 10 days from now, it should be hitting Pluto. So Pluto should be interfering a lot less within the vibrations of the Earth, and that will mean things will free up maybe a little bit the weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend. That'll probably be around about the 10th, between 10th, 12th, 13th, I don't know the dates exact, but around that sort of date where, even within society, people may just get freed up a little bit. Okay, they may be talking about lockdown coming to an end, and then when that does free up, start speaking to each other so we don't go back into this complete and utter craziness that is going on. Yeah. So, how have you been feeling? That's also really important. It's also important to communicate. I did a really good bit of communication the Tuesday, yesterday, and Monday. It wasn't a violent communication. It was a good communication. It was good to speak. It's always good to speak. It sort of clears the air and stuff like that. And it was much easier to speak than it has been over the past few weeks, simply because we've had too much of that sacrum and that plexus solis vibration that made it a little bit more sort of aggressive and stuff like that. But this time now, the Earth is actually allowing that throat chakra coming through, so it should be easier for you to just say the things that you might find it difficult to say in the past. Yeah? Okay? So if you've got any ideas, if you've got anything to say, please do put it in the comments below. Don't forget to click the bell and subscribe. Share this with everyone, because the more and more we come together and start understanding the ambient vibration of these energies, eventually we will be able to construct something a lot better. than what we've got now for our kids. We've all got kids, and we are all kids of someone. You know, that's just the way it goes. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to pass on an earth that is actually very livable for future generations. So please do share this video. It's really important to get this vibration out there. Just put it on your Facebook page. Just let people take it and do what they like with it. You don't have to get involved. This is not a movement as such, but it is going to help everybody get involved with something that is very tangible, something that is very constructive, that is not lunacy like we see on mainstream media and that's going in the so-called powers that be. Yeah, so get involved, and this is one way you can get involved. The more thumbs up we can get on this video, the more YouTube will say it, the more people will understand. It's going to make your life easier. Okay, so if you've got something to say, now is a good time to say it. Now is a good time to communicate between each other. You know, if you pay attention to the ambient vibrations, you'll see that this will drop out occasionally. Okay, so be aware of this. Yeah, all the links to the stuff that we look at you can find below to help you sort of do this. Yeah, so don't forget, subscribe, like, click the bell, and share. Okay, so if you haven't got it, I am doing videos on the pole shifts and stuff like that. I have written a book. This is the first book in a series of 6. The second book that is coming out, which is called Waves of Reality, it's actually 2 books, but because we're nice and everything like that, when this information needs to get out, we're actually putting the 2 books into one by the looks of it. It's going to be a pretty long book, but it explains a lot about the background information that is going on. It explains a lot about what you might feel about the situation and what is coming down the tubes. It is coming whether you like it or not. You can't change it, but what we can do is we can change how we have an interaction with it, which will then make it a lot easier. The sun is trying to help us. The earth is trying to help us. The universe is trying to help us. You've got to join in and get involved in your side. Don't say you didn't know because I've told you. Okay? Whew! That has been your midweek energy update. And for the meantime, ciao for now.